Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Fraser Oliver podcast, episode 7 or 8. It's one of them. Now, this is going to be a very interesting episode because not only are you, as the listeners, going to get to know a guest, it's also sort of a catch-up session because we've got Reece. You all right, Reece? How are you, mate?
Hello, how are we going? I'm all right. How are we doing?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. So we went to secondary school together.
We did indeed.
But we haven't really spoken sort of since leaving, or we didn't really speak from sort of year 9 onwards, I guess.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a nice little catch up. So before we get into sort of topics of school, how we sort of knew each other, college, things like that, I want to I've started introducing an icebreaker at the start of all my podcasts, which is just sort of a question to get into the podcast. So are you familiar with Jack Mate's Happy Hour at all?
I am.
Yeah, and they do the meal deal question on there. I don't know if you know, they always ask their guests what their favorite meal deal is.
Oh.
And I wanted to do that, but I didn't want to directly copy it. So I'm going to stick with the food theme because everyone loves food.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go with what did you have for breakfast today? Or if you didn't have breakfast, what would your ideal breakfast be?
So I had myself a full English because where I work is actually very good. They offer you a full English breakfast for £1.35.
That's mental.
Yeah.
So
every morning when I'm at work, when I get my first little break, I'll go in and I'll have my breakfast.
So full English. What are we? Because that could be many things. People sort of have a massive debate over what you have in it.
So for my work, that inclines of 2 sausages,
nice.
2 bacon, an egg, a stack of beans, 2 hash browns, and you can either have 2 slices of fried bread or you can have 4 slices of toast.
Nice. Okay, so what egg was it? Was it fried? Was it scrambled? Was it
fried egg?
Fried egg. See, I don't like a fried egg.
You're not a fried egg man?
No, I don't like just like eating just the whites of an egg. It I don't know. It's the texture. It throws me off completely.
Yeah. But it's weird because like I won't cook myself an egg. Like I won't have an egg at home. I'll only have an egg when I'm there. I won't have an egg anywhere else. Like if like I was cooking something and my brother was like, "Oh, do you want a bacon egg sandwich?" I'm like, "No."
Yeah,
like,
it's one of those things.
Like, it's one of those weird ones, isn't it?
It's almost like you can't be bothered to do it.
Yeah.
Unless someone's like, "I'm doing one," you're like, "Oh, God, then." But you'd never go, "Yeah, I'm gonna make myself a fried egg." Yeah. No, that's fair enough. So so I think we'll start at the start of school. So year 7, we were, or at least in my memory, we were pretty good mates sort of early on.
Yeah, in the same
tutor. We're in the same tutor group. So
very close.
I'm aware I've got some American viewers. So I don't know what grade year 7 is. I don't know if you know, Reece. So I don't know how their grade system works. I have no idea.
I do because I have Canadian family members. Don't hold me accountable, but I believe that is grade 8.
Okay, so we'll say...
But don't hold me accountable. Okay, I believe it's grade 8.
Okay, so we'll say 8th grade, which is basically the start of... Do they call it high school then? Secondary school? Is that high school? Yeah. So, okay, so start of high school.
Oh, God, we're so uncultured.
So uncultured.
So uncultured.
Yeah, we were pretty good friends at the start of...
Yeah.
We
sort of kicked it together, didn't we?
Yeah. And I think what happened is sort of we progressed on and found sort of friendship groups outside of just our tutor group. We sort of got into different friend groups and just
100%. That was it. Yeah.
But I think go on. No, you're the guest, Reece.
I was just gonna say, like when you're in like year 7 or the 8th grade or whatever they do, you sort of like, because you're new to the school. Obviously, secondary school, high school is big from like junior school, like elementary. So obviously, you used to just go around and like you'd see like 10 shooter groups just all like running around together. Because obviously, not many people knew each other outside, and obviously, unless you did like out of school activities with people in different like forms, and you know everyone else would just stick to their shooter group, and you just see 10 loads of little people running around the school.
Yeah, and I just sort of think as lessons sort of went on, you started talking to other people, you found people with similar interests, and I think we just sort of found different groups. But I think we then sort of... So one of my questions I've got is sort of on from year 9, so pre GCSE, so between 7 and 9, what was school like for you? Did you enjoy school, or was it more of a chore?
School was probably, as a general, over the course of the 5 years that we were there, school was probably the best time of my life.
Yeah, because something you hear a lot of like adults say is, "Oh, schools were like when you leave, you'll miss it," and at school you're like, "Well, that's not true." Like, I can't wait to leave. And then you leave and you're like, oh, yeah, that was all right, actually. Like seeing your mates every day and so.
But even when I was in school, I enjoyed it more than doing anything else. Because I think it was the social side of things. Like, obviously now we're not doing anything. You can really tell that the social side is affecting some people.
Yeah,
like for me personally, I'm still working, so that sort of social side hasn't affected me as much as some people that obviously furlough, not working, that sort of thing. So I think it's just socially.
Well, that was something I was going to get onto later in the podcast, but we sort of had a natural segue there. So I'll go into it, because the whole reason that I started my YouTube channel, which was back in March, I think, last year, was because of the lockdown and I was getting bored. So I was like, I need something to do. Yeah. And I'd always wanted to do YouTube. So I was like, well, why don't I just give it a go?
I'm in the very same boat as you, pal.
And it feels like you are being, because you're talking, also you're talking to a camera. Unless you're doing something like this, where we are actually talking. If you're just on your own, you're talking to a camera, but it still feels like you've got some sort of social interaction going.
Exactly, yeah. It does. Especially when you do like gaming videos. Your commentary is almost vital.
Yeah.
You sort of got to give it that perfect combination of gameplay to commentary. That sort of thing.
And it's about getting, because that's something I enjoy, is doing a lot of like, I guess it's not reaction stuff, but doing things where I tend to be, it's like 50-50 what's on the screen and then me commenting on it. And it's getting that balance of the content of and the game itself. It's a trick one. So we'll get into YouTube a bit. I've got sort of a whole section on YouTube that we'll definitely get into. But this is something as soon as I figured out we were doing this podcast, I could not remember what GCSEs you did. Because in my head, I've got that you did drama, but I don't think you did. I don't know why I've got that in my head.
I did do drama.
You did drama? Yeah, I thought you did, but I was like,
I did.
I don't know why I did. Yeah, I thought
it wasn't my first choice, admittedly, but
it was fun though, wasn't it? It was.
If I'm honest, it was my last choice, but I give it a crack. I give it a good crack.
It's
one of them lessons where you're not too bothered if you pass yourself.
Yeah.
So obviously in our final exam, if you remember, we did a few years back. So my group was obviously Rihanna, Josh Cray, Fern. So all of these people really wanted, they needed drama to go on in life, like to move on. They really desperately needed it. So for me, it wasn't a priority.
Right. Okay.
But it's one of them things where you have your fun, you mess around. It's sort of your like relief lesson, as they say. But at the same time, you have to knuckle down and get it done, because you don't want to be the person dragging the rest down. So I didn't want the group that I was with to get the poor grade because I wasn't interested. So I thought, although I didn't care about the lesson, it wouldn't be right on me and it wouldn't be fair on them if I was to let them down just because I didn't care. I thought that would be quite a selfish move.
Yeah, it's one of those subjects that a lot of people think, oh, I'll pick it and just sort of flunk my way through it. But I think because a lot of people who picked GCSE drama, people were like, well, why have you picked it? Sort of, you're gonna mess around.
I remember the first time I walked into GCSE drama, and it was sort of like it was a shock to everyone.
Yeah,
everyone sort of, because I remember walking in with Fabian. And everyone seen Fabian. It was like, yeah, all right, he's done drama a lot. He's a good actor. And they turned to me and they went, I'm not working with him.
Yeah, I think
from the off, straight away from the get-go, everyone besides Fabian and Tom were like, yeah, I'm not working with him because he's going to ruin my grade, that sort of thing.
And that was the deadly combination of you and Fabian throughout GCSE drama, was just an absolute nightmare.
We give it a good crack, didn't we?
It was good. It's one of those things where it got in the way, but it was so funny. Because like you wouldn't go a lesson without Miss being like, look, Fabian, Reece, sort it out. And it was just, it broke the lesson up, to be honest.
The thing is, you're in a studio as well, so you're not in table and chairs.
Yeah, that's the problem.
So you stood next to each other and you're talking, you're laughing, you're messing around. And the teacher would go, right, you one side, you the other side. And as she's talking and facing the board, you'd slowly merge back to each other. So she turned around, she'd write on the board, and she turns around and we're still in the same corner we was about 30 seconds before.
Oh,
but yeah, honestly. we give it a good crack, but it's a bit of fun.
It was the other thing that stands out in GCSE drama for me has to be the actual writing exam itself. Do you remember anything about that? Because that was eventful.
See, this is what I've always been so confused about.
Okay.
So obviously you do your devising piece in year 10 along with your portfolio.
Yeah.
And in year 11, it's your practical and your written, isn't it?
Yeah.
So my devising
got,
I remember it getting like practically, I remember it getting like a B.
Okay.
A B grade. And in my portfolio it was poor. I think I got like 4 marks on my entire portfolio.
Was a pain. It was horrible.
It was a pain, and it was just sort of one of them things where it was so long-winded, and it was something at the time that I was like, it's drama, whatever. Like, I'm not. Do you know what I mean? Because it was from me. I was like, I can't be bothered. And then going into the practical in year 11, my group and I got graded an A on our piece.
Okay.
So in my head, I'm thinking I've got an A, a B, and a little poor portfolio. So I'm thinking if I can get a mid-level exam, I do all right, I pass. Anyway, I come out with an E. I come out with a grade 2.
Okay.
And I sit there and I think, how was it so bad?
Yeah.
But what I realised is that obviously, so our exam was based on Blood Brothers, wasn't it?
It was.
Our exam was based on Blood Brothers, and then obviously we had to write about a play that we'd seen that wasn't Blood Brothers. So I made the fatal mistake of not actually going to watch a play or not actually watching.
Oh no,
that sort of thing. So the night before the drama exam itself, the written exam, I took it upon myself to watch Shrek the musical. I took it upon myself to watch Shrek the musical and just obviously jot stuff down. I soon learned when you get to the exam that you need a lot longer than one watch and a couple of notes. So I soon realised that, and I think I proper funked my exam.
Yeah, because I was going to say Shrek the musical's not a bad choice, because I think me and Fabian both wrote about Shrek the musical. But we'd seen it a few more times than
but that's when I had never seen it
before.
I've only seen like the clips and the memes that are put on all over like social media.
Yeah,
like the YouTubes and all that sort of thing. So that was what I seen it from. So I was like, do you know what? Why not? Let's watch Shrek the musical. Let's make a few notes, and let's just give it a crack. Because obviously, in my mock exam, we were told that we couldn't write about Blood Brothers for our own sort of piece, because that was already what was in the exam. Yeah. And in the mock, I made the mistake of writing about a different Blood Brothers scene. Oh, so obviously I got no marks. So I thought I can't do that again, because then I will just completely flunk my exam. Obviously, you don't choose a GCSE and you expect to pass. So I mean, when you look at the sheet and you see a fail, you're a bit like, ooh. Although it didn't mean anything to me because I wasn't going on like further in drama, it was sort of a bit like, ooh, it's a bit of a kick in the stomach.
It's a bit like, oh, that's not,
yeah, that sort of thing. But it was a laugh.
So you did drama. Can you remember what other GCSEs you did?
I done OCR Sport Studies,
which
was PE. But the way they did it is you done GCSE PE if you were in set 1 and 2 for Maths, English, Science.
Right.
If you wasn't, you would do what's called OCR Sport Studies.
Okay.
So GCSE PE was like the science behind it. Your muscles in your body, nutrition, all of that sort of thing. That was based on GCSE PE, and OCR Sport Studies was more like media studies. It was more like the media attention around sport. So like getting ethnic minorities involved, getting, disability participation, all that sort of thing. It was all about like participating in sport and all that sort of stuff. And then I did choose to do computing, so like coding. Okay. And then halfway throughout the first year of doing it, I struggled a little bit. So me and a few others went into BTEC IT. Right. Which is basically just Word, Excel, PowerPoint, making a website, that sort of thing, which I enjoyed. Yeah. Because I enjoy computers. I've always been quite a tech person. I've always sort of had a passion for it. So making a website was a bit of fun, wasn't it? Yeah, fair enough. And obviously you've done your Maths, English, Science and whatever, and RS. But were we in the same English? We was in year 9.
Were we not for GCSE?
No, you was in set 1.
Why did I think you were there?
Probably because I got sent into a classroom quite a lot.
That's probably it. You were there.
I got sent out quite a lot.
That's probably the reason. You just turned up and and sat there for a couple of lessons.
I just enjoyed the atmosphere at the back of the room.
It was, English was fun. I enjoyed English for GCSE.
You had a very efficient, a very good English teacher.
It was very strange because the group of people we had in that set was so strange because you had people like you had like Jacob and you had Ethan and people like that. But then you'd have like me, Chris, James, Tom, and it was like, I don't know, it was just such a weird dynamic because outside of that classroom, we wouldn't have like been in the same group.
No.
But in that classroom, it was a weird, it was very strange. Everyone just sort of got along.
The problem was all of those lads that you mentioned that you wouldn't really associate with that sort of thing, they're all very intelligent. They're all very smart lads.
Which is why they were in set one, because
they were in there for a reason. They were all very, very smart lads.
And when they got their heads down, they knew what they would. Yeah, they knew what they were doing. It was just getting them to settle down.
I mean,
so go on. No, go on.
It was like school in general for me. It was like socially.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't necessarily go there with learning as my number one priority. I sort of gone there to see my friends, have a good time.
Okay, yeah.
You're there for the good run, not the long run, and that sort of thing. You never know how fast it goes until you sit in your GCSEs. 1 minute you're taking your first induction day, you literally blink an eye and you're sat taking your GCSEs. Like there's no in between. It goes very fast.
Yeah.
So I think I could have done better, but I chose to see the social side of things, which I think a lot of people do. I don't think it's a bad thing.
That was going to be sort of my sort of final question on this topic was do you regret not maybe seeing the educational side as as equally to the social side?
Yes.
Do you?
Yeah. Because what I wanted to do in the future depended on my schooling.
What was it that you wanted to do?
So see, every lad that plays a sport from a young age, they want to be the best in that sport. Whether you play rugby, tennis, football, water polo, you want to be professional in what you do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then after I realized that it wasn't happening for me in my particular sport, it was a lot of few things. I wanted to be a prosecutor in a court of law.
Okay.
I wanted to be a lawyer, that sort of thing. And obviously, when you're a kid, you look at the figures, you look at the experience, you look at what it gives you in life, and you think, oh yeah, I like that. Sports physiotherapist was another one.
Right.
But I needed a higher grade in science, and I needed the scientific side of PE, which I couldn't do. So in terms of like building for future, education is very important. They say, oh yeah, they say, oh, your GCSEs don't matter. I had nothing. Look what I've done.
Yeah.
But if you want to achieve what you want, like if you're set on something, so like from the age of like 13, I was set that I wanted to be a sports physiotherapist or a lawyer. But then, so I had the sports side of it nailed down. The sports side of it, I was grinding. I was getting them. I was flying in sports, and it was working for me. But then I think, sort of along the way, when you mix yourself with different sort of groups of different interests, you sort of like lose that vision along the way.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit easier for you because obviously you're friends with, James, Fabian, Tom.
Yeah, and I think that
wanted to progress with, who all wanted to progress with drama.
I think that was something that I did. I'm not going to say, I did it really well. I'm great, but I think the group of friends that I chose to sort of hang out with, you had the sort of James, Chris group, but you also had the George, Becca, Maisie, that sort of group.
Yeah,
and I think both groups were very academic. So I think I think that's a big thing of school. Who you surround yourself with is quite
it is
quite a big thing.
It's probably one of the most vital things going through school. I mean, if you want to focus purely on academics, then no matter how popular or likable they are, please associate yourself with those people because they will push you to your best.
Yeah.
If you're like me and you wanted to do it socially, then school's your playground sort of thing. You hang out with whoever you want to hang out with. But I'm saying for your younger viewers, if you want to focus purely academically and you have a goal, please associate yourself with the right people.
Yeah, it's difficult, and because I understand you want to see it from a social point of view, and I think to not see it from a social point of view at all, I think school would be very difficult if you didn't socialize at all. But it's finding that weird, that weird balance.
Yeah.
So moving on from sort of GCSEs to sort of next steps. Now, I assume you did go to college? This is a bit I genuinely don't know.
I did go to college.
Okay, what did you do at college?
I studied a plumbing diploma.
Okay.
It wasn't my first choice of college. I sort of waited. I was sort of, in terms of college, I was a little bit of a sheep.
Okay.
I sort of waited to see what my other friends were going to do before I made my move. I wasn't like, this is what I'm doing because I want to do it. It was sort of like, I'm going to do it because you're doing it, sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But it turned out to be probably one of the best decisions that I ever made to do that course. I mean, I'd go back to college in a heartbeat. I'd spend my entire life in college.
I'd agree with that.
No issue to me, like whatsoever. My college groups throughout the two and a half years that we were there, it was honestly the best experience ever for me.
I completely agree with that. College for me, because it had like, it was almost like the social level of school, but amplified to the point where you could be more social with it. And I still talk to like some of my college mates now that are still at college in the year below me.
Yeah, 100%.
College was amazing. I did really enjoy college. So plumbing seems like a sort of strange choice. Is that something you? Because obviously you were saying about wanting to be a sports physiotherapist and sort of going into law. Where did plumbing?
So I looked into it, and basically the college courses and the universities basically said, look, you don't have the grades to do this.
Right. Okay.
They basically said that I wasn't academic enough to do those sort of projects. So I sort of had to look further and said, do I want to do anything further in law, or did I want to do anything further in sport?
Right.
And I just sort of looked and think, especially sport, because I'm obviously still a sporty person, so very sports active. I think if I ever want to turn my attention to that, I've got a lot of time to do it. Whereas obviously I didn't get the grades for law. And at first, obviously, I didn't get the grades for what I wanted to do regarding sport. So I thought, let's look to something else. Because obviously, it's always great to overqualify yourself.
Yeah.
And I think, so Ryan Tidwell,
yes,
he had his views on plumbing.
Okay.
He had a set on plumbing. He was doing plumbing. I think, I don't know if I'm right, but I think his dad was a plumber, or maybe still a plumber. So he had his sets on plumbing. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to learn a trade. He wanted to get an apprenticeship. He wanted to be a businessman. That's what he wanted to do. So I was like, oh, wicked. Like, you go for it. That's quality.
Yeah.
And then it got to the point where, because he decided he wanted to do it, a few of my other friends were interested. Oh, I might do electrics. I might do plumbing. I might do anything like that. So then it got to the point of, did I want to go to college and do what I did academically, sit at a table and learn from a book all the time, or did I actually want to do something that gets me engaged and I can enjoy what I do, sort of thing?
Yeah.
So I went for the induction day at plumbing, and we made a little phone stand thing. And I believe I still got it.
There we go.
So this right here, I don't know if you can see it, but this right here, is a little phone stand. Now, if I get my phone. So basically, it doesn't work because it's wonky because I didn't solder it.
Okay.
Basically, what it does, obviously, it just sits like that.
Oh, that's...
And then you leave it on the desk, and it sits in front of you like this. Obviously, you can't see it, but
I got it.
And the camera down, it sits in front of you like that. That's what
amazing.
It does. So we done that, and one of my friends chose another course. One of my friends from outside of school, he chose another course, and we both come out on the same day. And we'd obviously both made something. I said, oh yeah, look, I've made myself a copper little phone frame, like, so if I can never be bothered to hold my phone, or it doesn't fall in my face like an idiot, I can have that. And he come out with some sort of paper origami like sort of thing. I was like, yeah, I'm like, I'd much rather do that sort of thing. But no, it was the college interview mainly that proper made me like set my sights on it. So it was like, I'll go for the interview, because obviously if they say, oh, we want you on the course, if the ball's in my court, I can either accept or decline. So I've done a few college interviews. I've done one for like electrics, plumbing. I've done one for like sports in general, not sports physiotherapist, but like just a sport course in general. And I think it was the it was the actual interview itself that set my sights on this is what I wanted to do. You know, the lecturers, they were very sort of my type of people that like I want to work with.
Yeah.
You know, they're social, don't mind a bit of banter. They can be serious when they need to and obviously get down to work, but it's more lighthearted than also serious.
Yeah.
Whereas if I chose A levels, it would be like it was at school. It was, you need to pass my course, you need to do this, you need to do that sort of thing. Do you know what I mean?
And I think that was that was a big thing at college, was the change in lecturers from teachers, because obviously with teachers, they're always Mr. or Miss, that you never call them by their first name. And I don't know how it's for you, but at least with my lecturers, I'm not going to say any actual names, but it was like you called them by their first name, so it just felt more.
It was first name terms. Yeah,
it felt like they cared more. I'm not saying teachers at like secondary schools that don't care, but it just felt you had more of a, you could trust them more. It was it was strange.
I think for me personally, I enjoyed, you know, obviously I enjoyed having the lectures on a first name basis because, you know, you respect your teachers as Miss or Sir or whatever it is, and obviously like their students respect each other more in an adult sort of sense. Do you know what I mean? It was more mature. It was more adultery. Like you could chat to them about, you know, more different things, like older age sort of things. You know, if you had like problems, like you can go to them. Like they were sort of, they were your lecturers, but at the same time they were your friends. Yeah. And I think that's the difference between lecturers and teachers. And teachers are there, but then they're not really your friends. You respect them as a teacher. Whereas especially my college lecturer, like I call my college lecturer all the time. I ring him and say, "Oh, you know, we're going out for a pint when this is all this COVID goes and all of this," and he'll respond.
We've said that. We said that.
It's more of a friend basis with your lecturers, and obviously for your younger viewers, they'll learn that once they get to college.
Yeah. So, with college, is uni something you've thought about? Is uni something you're doing, or
uni was always something that I eventually wanted to try.
Okay.
No matter what I went to uni for, no matter what course I studied, uni was always something that I wanted to do.
Right.
The only problem being is that the college course I did, obviously you can't do plumbing at university level. There's no.
Yeah. There's no.
I mean, you can study different elements of degree.
Yeah.
For plumbing and like gas and all that, but there's not actually like a specific university that supplies that. It's not really. It's more like an online course sort of thing.
Yeah.
They're all sort of in like that respect.
Okay.
But uni was always something I wanted to do. Seeing people we knew go to uni, and obviously they're all in their dorms, they're all having a blast. They all enjoy what they do.
Yeah.
It was always something I wanted to do, but like it's one of them where it sort of comes into reality when you think it's not going to happen, but you just need to be okay with it and accept it and, you know, move on.
Yeah, because uni was something uni is something I'm doing, but I didn't go last year, because last year was sort of the first year I could have gone, because I finished college last year. But with I'm still sort of pursuing the acting, so the idea of going to uni to do acting when you can't be in the same room as other people was just like that in my head. Was like, well, what's the point then? I'll leave it a year.
Just defeats the object completely, doesn't it?
And like, if theatres aren't open, so I can't even perform, it's like, it seems a bit pointless. So I'll leave it a year.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, definitely.
So go in this year, because it seems like it's all sorting itself out now. So this year is hopefully uni for me, and hopefully I can still continue YouTube at uni, because it's something I've really been enjoying, and I'm starting to build a somewhat of a community on here. So it's something I definitely want to keep going with, because it's one of the things you have to sort of persist at. You can't just sort of do it for a month and go, well, why have I not hit 1,000 subscribers yet? It's just, you've been doing it a month.
Definitely. Yeah, 100%. It's something that you have to stay with, because, you know, like you said, at first it was just something to keep you occupied to do, but now once you've seen what it can do, you obviously want to do everything you can to keep it going. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like I started it and I was like, at first it was just going to be for me and my mates. All my videos were going to be unlisted, and I'd send them links and it'd just be us playing, chatting, laughing. And then it sort of got to like when I had to edit the videos,
Yeah.
And I sort of found that I enjoyed it.
Right. Okay.
And
So
I just thought, why not go public? Why not try it?
yeah. So before we get too far into YouTube, for anyone that doesn't know, you have a channel, don't you, Reece, called
I do have a channel.
MLD Plays. Did I get that
It
right?
is.
Yeah, I
Yeah, you
did. Okay.
did.
So do you want to sort of just tell my viewers what sort of stuff you do on there? Sort of promote your channel. I'll leave a link in the description and on
I
the end
mean,
screen.
it's basically it's your standard gaming channel. I basically jump on there. I play a couple of games. Not very good. I scream and shout quite a
You
bit.
make it so entertaining though. Your
I scream and
commentary
shout
is
quite a
so good.
bit.
It was in your latest Rocket League video. You get so angry, and I can't even remember what the line is that you
Rocket
say.
League does the
But
worst to me.
but I was actually laughing out loud for a good like minute and a half. I was like, this is yeah, it's good. You add so much because there are plenty of gaming channels out there that won't add anything to the game,
Yeah,
and they'll just like narrate what they're doing. I'm like, well,
yeah,
that's not commentary. That's just I can see what's going on.
yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah,
And I
you
didn't want to be that sort of. All right, so now I'm driving towards the ball.
yeah
Now I've hit the ball.
yeah
Now I've
that's
scored.
yeah
It's sort of you can see it. You know what's
yes,
happening.
I know what's going
You know what I
on.
mean?
Yeah.
But my
So
my channel idea was originally just supposed to be long plays.
okay,
And there was going to be no face reveal, no commentary. I pick a game, I play it all the way through,
really?
and I put it on YouTube. That was my original channel idea. So I was going to look to all the old school games.
Mm,
So, like for example, I was going to play The Simpsons Hit and Run.
what a
I was
game.
going to play. I was going to play Bully. I was going to
Oh,
play.
all
I
the
was going to
good,
play
yeah.
all these storyline games, but as a long play.
Fair
And then
enough.
I just thought, I'm too much of a loudmouth.
Oh
I've got
yeah,
too much
it's
energy to sit here for ages and just play a game and record it.
and I feel like if you had done that, I don't know about you, but when I play a game, I get invested and I will just even if I'm not recording, I will shout at the screen. And I feel like
Oh,
if you had just
I'm
played a game
worse
and
off camera.
if
Yeah,
you
I'm
had
worse
not
off
recorded
camera.
it, it would have been a waste.
Mm,
'Cause if you've been saying that commentary anyway and hadn't recorded it, it would have
yeah,
been a waste because
yeah,
yeah. So definitely go and check Reese out. A link in all the usual places you'll find it. So yeah, going back to what we were sort of talking about before I wanted to just get that out of the way. YouTube's one of those things where I enjoy every aspect of the process.
yeah,
So I enjoy coming up with the idea, scripting it if I need to, the filming and the editing. The editing
yeah,
especially is something I've been like sort of trying to experiment with. Thumbnails again. I love like editing around with thumbnails.
yeah.
And something I want to go on to is that because my philosophy is sort of you have to spend money to make money. That's sort of my
Put
like
it on the head. Absolutely
if
nailed it on the
if you
head.
don't if you I always say do it for a month like with YouTube do it for a month if you
Mm,
don't like it fine if you
yeah,
think I could keep going with this for a long amount of time I want to try and make
yeah.
something you need to start getting some sort of equipment whether it's a better
Yes,
camera better microphone
yes,
a better headset
100%.
anything like yeah so
100%.
yeah that's definitely something
I
so
mean,
is that
I started off with my phone, which is an
mm,
iPhone 11.
nice
Um, and this microphone, which is cable tied into the wall, so you might not be able
okay
to see it. But if you go on Amazon and it's a toner microphone, and I've seen it off someone that makes TikToks, and
I
this person that makes TikToks, she was basically using it in her YouTube videos that she was starting with, and I thought, oh no, it's quite, it's
what
quite
type
nice,
of mic is it because I think I might have that mic
it is. It's called toner, but I
is
don't
it
know what.
what kind of stand is it on is it on like a
It's on like a smallish tripod,
oh okay yeah I think I've got one because I think
but
that was the
mine's cable tied, so I can't pull it any further than I
no
can.
that's all right no I think that
So,
was the mic I started with it because
mm,
it was that yeah because I saw that I thought that'll do sort of while I'm signing off and I started
yeah.
filming with I'll see if I can get it actually hang on
Shout out to Fraser, man. He's a top guy. He's a true one. He's a true guy.
turns out I don't have it up here, but it's like a massive. It was like a massive. It was my brother's photography camera that I used
Mm.
because it was like I thought it was better than a phone.
Yeah,
And the like charging port on my phone's broken, so there was no easy way to transport videos from my phone to
right.
my laptop. So I thought,
Yeah, yeah.
forget that. And
Mm.
then And then I bought. I show you my new camera. I bought a proper nice.
Oh wow!
I only got this recently, but I thought I've been getting into doing vlogs, so I wanted a camera that sort of do it all.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I think you definitely need to. So anyone doing YouTube at the moment and thinking, do I spend money on stuff? If you think you could go further with it, definitely. But don't go spending like $1,000 on equipment. Like
you've definitely got to put in what you want to get out, and you have to do it in stages. So, like you mentioned, don't go and straight away buy yourself the top camera, the top microphone, the top equipment, the top recording capture cards, whatever you use. Don't go all out on the top equipment, because as your channel progresses, I'm saying this like I'm a top YouTuber and I've been doing it for years. I've been doing it for like a month. But everyone... as your channel progresses, you want to watch your equipment progress. So for me, you know, growing up, I only had an Xbox. I didn't have a computer. I didn't have any monitors. I had one computer, one telly. That was it. I just enjoyed playing games. And obviously, when you start to work and you start to get a little bit of money, you build that setup. So like the setup I've got now is great, and I couldn't be happy with it. But there is also things that you could obviously always improve on.
Yeah.
So don't go buying the top mics, the top cameras, you know, the top specs straight away. You want to see, you want to start with the basics that are efficient and that will do the job right for starting out. And obviously, as your channel grows, if you persist with it and you progress, then obviously your setup goes, and you can watch it as like a progression thing. That's me personally. That's what I'm doing with it.
I think it's then even it's nice to go back and watch old videos and think, oh, the audio quality is not great there.
Yeah.
But you watch your most recent video and you're like, but you can see that I've
you can see
progressed with it.
Yeah.
Like my old videos, I'm contemplating just putting them on unlisted. Like if they weren't still getting views, I would. But it's because it's like I don't like that being out there as what my channel is. It's not great. No. So other than sort of lockdown, sort of being boring, what was the other like? Were there any YouTubers that inspired you to the kind of content you make? Like, what sort of YouTubers, if any, did you used to watch?
I mean, if I'm honest, that you know who the top YouTubers are. You know, when you decide to do something like gaming or vlogging, you sort of know who they are. So from very early, when I first started watching YouTube at like 9-10 years old, obviously it only came out in like 2009 or whatever it is. So you had your gamers. So like Syndicate for me, was the first gamer on YouTube that I watched. Obviously his Minecraft project and the Call of Duty videos he'd done. At the time, those were the two games that I loved playing. So I thought, brilliant, there's someone here that's better than me at what I do. I can watch how the game is truly supposed to be played.
Yeah.
And then obviously it's given like your KSIs, you know, the Sidemen, and like when they all blew up, obviously everyone just turned their attention to them and they just set the whole thing on fire ever since. You know, obviously there are people that you watch and you think, I'd love to do that. I'd love to do that. But I think the main problem with people starting YouTube is opinions.
Yes.
Because everyone will go, oh, you're not going to turn out to be PewDiePie. You're not going to turn out to be this, and this, and have 100 million subscribers and that. But then you got to think at the same time, they were in our position once.
Yeah.
You got to think PewDiePie's got over 100 million subscribers. He started with nothing.
Yeah, everyone has to start out. No one started with like 1 million subscribers. People had to get there somehow. I
think it's a lot more difficult now, because the current YouTube like kings and queens have inspired so many to do it. It's so hard to get yourself recognized now because there are so many more people doing it.
It is. And when it first came out, and people that were sort of our age then, so your PewDiePies, your KSIs, all of those people, they were new to it. So there would have only been like 100 people making 100%. Consistent videos on there.
Yeah, definitely.
But now there's like, if you look at the statistics as to how many YouTube videos are uploaded every day, it's ridiculous. So it's
crazy.
It's so much more difficult now than it was then to make something out of it. But that doesn't mean that people aren't, because even if it's
never impossible to blow up overnight.
No, you could do one video that does amazingly, and all of the people find your channel through that, and that's all you need.
Yeah.
And it's another thing that I would give advice to any sort of YouTubers trying to start out. Obviously, I'm not a YouTuber, but anyone trying to sort of trying to do YouTube is make connections if you can.
Yes.
Like any way you can make connections to bigger YouTubers.
Yeah.
Do it. Like I've got
currently you are above me.
Yeah.
Stands obviously to make connections, like you said, is the most important thing, hands down. Because you never want to make enemies.
No.
In case there has to be a time where you need that assistance.
Yeah.
Or you need that little bit of, come on, keep going, sort of thing. And the only friend that you could have on YouTube could be that person you've now, you know.
Yeah, well, you look at people like the Sidemen. They all made connections with each other, and now are one of the biggest YouTube groups, if not the biggest ever. And it's like that all came from just making connections.
You can see the way they do it all. Like they've all got 2 channels between them. So they've all got first and second channels.
Yeah.
They've got the Sidemen reacts, more Sidemen.
Yeah.
They've got so many and they do so much together. But you can see that they were 7 nobodies.
Yeah.
They were 7 nobodies that blew up.
And by chance they just met each other.
Exactly that.
And that to me is amazing. But yeah,
and it's just formed the best thing that YouTube's ever seen.
I honestly love them. And anytime they upload, I'm watching it. Like whether it's more Sidemen or Sidemen Reacts or their Sidemen Sundays, I will watch it because.
But there's a lot of people in our boat.
They're so professional.
But it's experience. They've been in the game a long time.
Yeah.
You got to think we could blow up, and in 5-10 years time, I'm not saying we're going to be the next Sidemen. Don't clown.
You heard it here first, guys.
Yeah. I'm going. No,
me, you, James.
Yeah, we're going all the way. But no, I'm saying like I said again though, they were in the same boat as us. They were 7 nobodies that come together, and now they're the biggest thing YouTube's ever seen. And what they do, like you said, is so professional. It's so organized. It's amazing.
Yeah, they are.
It happens to anyone.
They have it down as well. The algorithm, they have the whole thing down to a T, and it's amazing to watch. Sort of the amount of views they get in the short amount of time is.
It really is.
So we're sort of coming to the end, at least of my notes of the podcast. So I did ask you if you had anything you wanted to talk about. So is there anything, or we can move on to the sort of final segment?
I had one thing, and it was, what's next for you?
What next for me?
You as a person, whether it's YouTube or whatever, for you as a person, what's next?
Well, so obviously we spoke about uni for a bit. Obviously, that's something I will be doing in September. But between now and then, obviously, along with applying for student finance, accommodation, all that sort of stuff, it's trying to build YouTube, trying to get it to something, and no, not necessarily monetized, but keep gaining subscribers and just keep building it. And like I said about making connections, I've been talking to bigger creators who I've sort of spoken to through live streams and things like that, who have agreed to come on the podcast. And it's like, right, they come on. Like I don't know how familiar you are with Jack's Happy Hour, but there's a sort of semi-regular co-host on there, and he's gonna be coming on my podcast. I'm filming it on Wednesday, and he's got something like 93k. So it's like he's coming on. That's going to boost my channel. It's making connections. That is
100. That's huge. That really is.
Yeah. So that's where I'm trying to keep building. This is the plan really. And obviously the other thing I'd say, just before we move on to the final segment, is an upload schedule. We'll talk a bit about upload schedules. So when I started off, I was doing every day uploading. Because it was sort of the summer last year when there was really definitely nothing to do. It was like a proper lockdown of you cannot leave your house. So I was like, wow, just upload every day then.
Yeah.
And then I sort of lost an upload schedule at all, and I was just uploading whenever I wanted. And now I've gone to Wednesdays and Sundays at 5 because, and I think upload schedules are so important because if you get a big-ish audience, it's good that they know precisely when they can find your content. Like things with the Sidemen Sundays, every Sunday there will be a video on that channel. So I think so it's trying to stick to that. I've done pretty well so far, but I'm not sure how much longer it will go on.
Yeah.
So we've mentioned. So I didn't think we'd mentioned this much, but we've mentioned Jack's happy hour a lot in this podcast. And this final segment is something I do at the end of every podcast of mine, and it is a segment I stole from them. I'll say borrowed.
Let's say magpied for the English teachers out there.
Yeah,
English teachers, I know you're watching.
We magpied it.
I know you're watching, English teachers.
And that is hypothetical questions. So, do you know what a hypothetical question is?
It's a big word for me, and I think you know that. I think you know it's a big word for me.
So, it basically it's a question that won't happen, but if it did, what would you do?
I see.
So the first one, but this is kind of grim, but it's kind of not because it's about food.
Okay.
So, what would your final meal be if you were on death row? Quite a classic. What would you have? A starter, main, and dessert.
See, I don't want to say something and then get clowned for being bland.
No, go on.
My starter is 100% gonna be garlic bread.
Oh, literally, I was thinking the exact same. I was like, every garlic bread.
Every restaurant I go to, what do you want to start? You know, they've got chicken skewers.
Yeah.
They've got mushroom. They got breaded mushroom. Every time, can I have a bit of garlic bread, please.
Garlic bread's elite.
Every time.
Absolutely elite.
It's bland, isn't it? Like you want to say, I want a salad with some coleslaw.
Oh look, if you have coleslaw at all, you need to take a long hard look at yourself.
Yeah, coleslaw is not in my.
If you're choosing coleslaw over garlic bread, that's like an immediate red flag. I'm a bit like, oh,
should not be in the restaurant if you're choosing coleslaw over garlic bread.
If I had a restaurant, it'd not even be on the menu.
Oh, I would not. No, there's a lot of things I wouldn't include on the menu.
A salad, I'll keep chicken salad on there. That's all right. I'll keep.
Yeah, why not?
Everyone chicken salad, but coleslaw, absolutely not. So garlic bread.
I think what puts coleslaw for me mainly, the way they put it in the little pots.
Oh,
they don't include it.
I'll tell you what annoys me. When people go to KFC and get coleslaw.
Oh,
I'm like, you're at KFC.
Oh, yeah.
You're at KFC and you've chosen coleslaw.
Yeah,
what are you?
No.
It's like the people that go to Mackey's and get the apple slices. Grow up.
And you don't want to. You go to McDonald's. You don't go to McDonald's for a fruit bag,
don't say, oh, I'm trying to be healthy. Then don't go to Mackey's. If you're trying to be healthy, don't go.
If you're trying to be healthy, why are you at KFC?
Yeah. Honestly, if you get coleslaw or any fruit bags at Mackey's, just I feel sorry for you, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not the right choice. Anyway, garlic bread for starter.
That is good,
hands down.
Right, main meal.
Main meal. Oh, it's not even a no-brainer for me. It's a 12-ounce rump steak and chips.
Oh, that is how do you have your steak? This is going to be say the wrong answer here, and you know what might end the podcast.
Is it bad that I don't even know?
How do you not know?
I think I get it. I think medium rare.
That's the correct answer. That's the best.
I think I kept my steaks medium rare.
Yeah, that's the best way. Is that where it's like still a little red inside?
Still a little bit pink, but it's more,
that's what you want.
Yeah.
Anyone that has it well done, I'm a bit like, you don't want it well done because then it's like really tough. If some people have it blue, which is like not cooked, they'll just like put it in the pan for about 10 minutes each side.
Is that even edible?
Yeah. You're like, well, you might as well just bring a cow out to the table. But like, there you go. Carve it yourself. Yeah, just
Yeah, so main's 100% a rump steak and chips.
Yeah, see, I'd have to go. This is gonna be really bland. I'd probably have to go some sort of like southern fried chicken burger.
Burger was my next shout.
I love a chicken burger.
Burger was my next shout.
Okay, so dessert. What are we having for dessert?
It's got to be a millionaire cheesecake.
What? You've just read my mind.
Oh, millionaire cheesecake. It has to be. There's no other way.
It's the two best things combined. Cheesecake
There's no other
is
way.
elite. Millionaire shortbread, elite. Put them together.
There's no other way. For me, anyway. I mean,
for me, it's
the chocolate brownie, but nah. For me,
it's too sickly.
There's levels.
Chocolate brownie's too sickly.
Mm.
What do you have with your cheesecake? Do you have any sort of cream with it, or is it just the cheesecake?
Just get myself some ice cream with it. Sort of like vanilla ice cream. Just something.
See, I can't do anything with. If I'm having a cheesecake, I'm just having the cheesecake on its own.
I feel like it just breaks it up.
If it's too dry that you need to have a cream with it, then it's not a great cheesecake, is it really?
No. Oh no.
I think you've smashed that actually. One thing we haven't mentioned with the meal, what drink you having?
Are we talking alcoholic or not?
Whatever you want.
I'd probably have a Thatcher's Haze.
What a shout!
I'd probably be only because right. So I've taken a huge love to the Thatcher's Lemon that they do.
They're so dangerous because they don't even taste alcoholic.
No,
So I can just down them and be like, I've just had like a whole can of Thatcher's here.
For me, I've always been a bit of a lightweight. I can't really drink,
okay.
And I'm man enough to admit that I cannot really drink. So I'll have about 4 or 5 Thatcher's Haze, and I'm a bit dizzy. I slur my words. I'm a bit out of control. 6, 7, 8 lemons.
Yeah.
I'm still playing Xbox fully functioning. Like, I still know where all the buttons are and all that sort of thing.
Believe it or not, I was a bit of I couldn't really like handle my alcohol until I started hanging out with Fabian more, which isn't going to be a surprise to anyone.
It's no surprise to
anyone. Was the turning point, right? But now I haven't like seen him and hung out with him and actually like drunk with him for months. I had a drink a couple of nights ago. I was like, oh my god, I'm already feeling a bit dizzy, and I've only had 3 cans.
That kid he's one of a kind.
Honestly.
He's one of them people where you love him or you cannot stand him. There's no in between. You either love the kid or you hate the kid.
I think he's brilliant. I honestly
think he's brilliant. I've always
love him.
Brilliant. I think he is brilliant. But I tell you what, that kid is off his head.
He's mental. He's actually clinically insane.
The first time that I ever watched Fabian drink, it was at a house party, and I think you might have been there. It was at Fern's birthday party. Were you there?
I think I might have been.
I think you were there. And he got there a little bit late.
Yeah.
I remember chasing Lewis down to the park because he legged out of a back garden and he ran down to the park. I remember chasing him. And Fabian was there. Fabian was sat on the chair when I left. We were literally there for about 10 minutes, me and Lewis at this park.
God.
So Fabian's sitting there with he's got a drink in his hand. He's already had a couple. He's got a drink in his hand. He's sat on the chair. He's talking to everyone. He's chill. He's fine. He's having a good night.
Yeah.
I go and get Lewis. We're there for about 15 minutes at a very, very maximum.
Oh.
I come back in the house, and Fabian has got a drink in his hand, but he's passed out, but he's over the chair. He's over the chair.
That child is a nightmare.
You don't know Fabian. He's not the tallest of blokes.
He's tiny, basically.
He's not the tallest of blokes. But when I say literally, he was leaning over the chair. His body shape was like this. Like this was his feet, and his body had looped, and he was just hanging over the chair like this. And he had a drink in his hand, and it was almost all over the chair. And I just think, I was 15 minutes ago, he was sat in the chair having a good night.
He's like, this
I come back after getting Lewis from the park, and he's hanging over a chair.
Yeah, he's
like, I've never seen anyone like him. But like you said, he's brilliant. He is brilliant.
He is one of a kind.
He is.
So final hypothetical question for you there. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
See, this is such a hard, not hard, because the answers to this question are very common.
Yeah.
I want to say, Hawaii or places like that. For me, and it's only because I've been there as a holiday destination, if I had to live anywhere in the world, it would be the outskirts of Monaco.
Really? That's a very... I wasn't expecting that answer. I don't imagine many people would say that.
The outskirts of Monaco would be the place that I'd live in a dream location. Yeah.
See, mine's a bit strange because I feel like most people would go with some like hot country, but I'd love to live in Iceland. I genuinely would love to live in Iceland.
It's not as uncommon as you think. It's not as uncommon. A lot of people would say Iceland.
I know people want to go on holiday there, but I'd happily live there. I think it'd be brilliant. So
I don't know. It's one of them. I've never really been like a holiday person. I've always been like quite home oriented. So when we go on holiday, the only time we'd enjoy it is 2 or 3 days before we go home.
Oh.
But when I'm there, so we go there for like 10 days, and by day 7, by day 6, I'd want to kill myself. I'd want to go.
Fair enough.
By day 7 and 8, I'd enjoy it. So I'm used to it now. I'm there.
Yeah.
But Monaco was the only place that I fell in love with straight away. Absolutely gorgeous place to live.
That's amazing. You shocked me with that answer. Wasn't ready for the outskirts of Monaco.
No, it's a great place, beautiful place.
Well, that sort of brings us to the end of the podcast there. Thank you so much, Reece, for coming on. It's been really good to sort of have a bit of a catch up.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
We went off on some tangents, which was nice.
A few tangents, but
yeah.
We got them.
So yeah, definitely go and check out Reece. I'll link him everywhere. I would especially recommend that second Rocket League video on his channel. It is hysterical. And any parting words, Reece, you want to say?
Warning headphone users.
Yeah. You know what? I can back that.
If you check my content, warning headphone users, because it does get loud and it does get very bangy and crashy. And
I can back that. Back that. So thank you for watching, everyone. Like it if you enjoyed it. Dislike it if you didn't enjoy it. And I will see you in the next video, whatever I decide to make it. See you guys.
I love Fraser. We love Fraser. Bum 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 bum. Fraser.